Okay, just hang on to it. All right, so we are going to be finishing up the notes. Well, not finishing. We're going to be completing some more notes on the back side, not all of them. The bottom half will still be for another day. Then you should have 2 sheets of paper, the vocabulary practice, and then this other sheet, what? Huh? I'm sorry, you gotta, I don't get pencils out. So, use crayon color, crayon marker, I can't even say it, that's how I wrote them. Does anybody have a pencil or pen? Sebastian, you guys got something for you? You have one? Jeffrey got it. Thank you, Jeffrey. Then we will be working on this. I'm gonna let you guys work on this in pairs, and then you will be working on this in pairs as well. Okay? Questions about what you are doing? Nope. Well, maybe. I will fight you. No. You want to go? I will.
Please. Can I get to go home?
So do I. Let's do it.
You did fine.
Okay, fine. And you get stuck with whatever comes through that door.
And that still means she gets fired, that's it, and then she gets to stay home.
I just forgot my other job.
She gets to stay
You don't
home
have to worry,
longer.
so this is true, you don't have to worry about your feelings, so even better.
Right? Let's go.
Please,
Come on. Let's go.
with the table already.
Oh, if I go home, you going home too. Like, I'm not the only one getting in trouble.
She gonna be going home without a job. I think you should at least take something
Right? If I'm
first.
losing my pension, there's gonna be some blood.
I think
I'm gonna take that goldfish and start running. I'm gonna
Why,
pass it to
why y'all
Jeff.
gotta go for the goldfish?
I'm gonna pass it to
what the
Jeff.
goldfish does the goldfish
That's
just be
because you said pass it to
Because we know the
Jeff.
goldfish is
What you want.
Alright, let's go and get through this. Shh. So what other smaller bodies are found in our solar system? Alright, so think about these words. What do you know that are different about them, and jot down anything that comes to mind. So you're looking at meteorites, meteors, meteoroids, asteroids, and comets. So just write down how possibly they're different. Just anywhere, you can do it on your notes, you can do it in your notebook, doesn't matter. And then write down anything that comes to mind when you hear these words. I'm gonna give you about, let's do it, man. You should be able to write at least one thing down about one of those. Gosh, just simply read.
It's on
20
the
seconds.
thing. Oh,
20 seconds.
I got one thing down.
All right. So what's one thing that you guys wrote down? Travis.
Comets have tails.
Comets have tails. Is that what you said?
Mm.
Okay. Isaac.
Meteors are like big rocks.
Meteors are big rocks. Okay. Breda.
Comets are faster than asteroids. Like, they go faster.
Okay. Anything else? That would work. Nevaeh?
Asteroids have a lot of heat.
Asteroids have a lot of heat. Okay. Anything else? All right, let's keep going. So go ahead and start writing. A moon is a natural satellite. That's good. What do you need? Oh, what a chart. Okay. Just hand me your pencil real quick. A satellite is a natural or man-made object that orbits a planet. Addison, just follow along. Like, don't worry about writing. There are a total of 181 known moons in our solar system. Moons of the solar system scale to Earth's moon. So here's Earth, this is their moon, and then here's all the other different. Alright. Excuse me. Alright, we just talked about these. Comets are cosmic snowballs of frozen gas, rock, and dust, roughly the size of a small town. You look like you're in shock.
How do they measure that?
Well, how do you, so Bella just asked, how do they measure that? Well, how do you think they measure it? Like, what do you think?
Oh,
What do you think like actually happens is to how they determine how big the cosmic snowballs are? Brayden.
Satellites, probably.
Okay, so possibly satellites. How else?
and craters.
The craters. So essentially, like when it hits the ground, obviously it's going to be bigger than what the actual comet is, but they can probably figure out a way to measure between images of it coming and whatnot. Interesting, isn't it? Coming to the Earth.
I did.
Do you need to sit over there with her?
No, I did.
Okay. Comets orbit around the sun in an elliptic orbit, so they go in more of like a oval rather than just in a circle. When a comet's orbit brings it close to the sun, it heats up and spews dust and gases into a giant glowing head larger than most planets. The dust and gases from a tail that stretches away from the sun for millions of kilometers. So you have short period comets and then you have long period comets. So these are less than 200 years and then these are unpredictable orbits. Days on comets vary, so one day on Comet Halley varies from 2.5 to 7 2 2/10 to 7 4/10 Earth days. And this is the time it takes the Comet Halley to rotate or spin once. Comet Halley makes a complete orbit around the sun. A year in the comet's time is 76 Earth years. So that's a whole lot. Like, think about that. So we have 1 year. You're so dramatic.
What's he doing?
That's
Mind blown, man.
Comets may not be able to support life themselves, but they may have brought water and organic compounds, the building blocks of life, through collisions with Earth and other bodies in our solar system. Alright, so just make sure you get this down. A small body of ice, rock, and cosmic dust that follows an elliptic orbit around the sun, and a comet gives off gas and dust in the form of a tail as it passes close to the sun. Give me a thumbs up when you have this down so I know we can move on. Alright, asteroids are rocky, airless worlds that orbit our sun but are too small to be called planets. Tens of thousands of these minor planets are gathered in the main asteroid belt between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. If all the asteroids were combined into a ball, they would still be much smaller than Earth's moon. Most asteroids orbit our sun, a star, and a region of space between the orbits of Jupiter and Mars known as the asteroid belt. More than 150 asteroids are known to have a small companion moon, and then some of them have two. And one asteroid named, not even sure, is known to have two dense and narrow rings. So they kind of have characteristics of planets. Why do you think that? Sebastian?
Because they are kind of like planets, but they're too small.
So they have similar features, you think? Okay. Alright, anybody else want to add anything? This is the first and largest asteroid to be discovered and the closest dwarf planet to the sun. It encompasses over 1/3 of the estimated total mass of all the asteroids in the asteroid belt. Alright, please make sure you get this down. A small rocky object that orbits the sun, usually in the band between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, and it's too small to be considered planets. Alright, thumbs up when you're finished. Alright, so meteoroids are little chunks of rock and debris in space. Most meteoroids are believed to originate in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Meteoroids become meteors, or shooting stars, when they interact with a planet's atmosphere and cause a streak of light in the sky. Meteoroids that make it to the surface of a planet are called meteorites. Meteorites may vary in size from tiny grains to large boulders. One of the largest meteorites found on Earth is the Haba meteorite from Southwest Africa, which weighs roughly 54,000 kilograms, or 119,000 pounds. That's what? 1800?
18 elephants.
Oh. Meteors, and meteorites cannot support life. However, they may have provided the Earth with a source of amino acids, the building blocks of life. I'm just talking about the difference based off of the location of where the object is. All right, make sure you get this down. So they're little chunks of rock and debris in space. They become meteors or shooting stars when they fall through a planet's atmosphere, and they become meteorites when they strike the surface of a body. All right, when you are finished with this page, go ahead, you can fold it, put it into your notebook, but you don't want to put it away because you're going to need it for the next part of this activity. Please go ahead and get out the 2 pieces of paper that I passed out to you earlier. Okay, so you should be looking at these 2 pieces of paper. You are going to be able to work with a partner. Brayden, what does that mean? It's 2. Your name is not Brayden. Should not be talking. So make sure you are only with one other person. Please do not come up and say, Miss Kenny, can I work with 17 people? I'm going to be like, no, one person only. If you choose to work by yourself, that is perfectly fine. We are going to put a little bit of motivation into y'all, hopefully a motivation anyways. So the first pair or person who has this completely filled out and it's correct, you only get one chance. So make sure you do it correctly. I will reward you with a couple of airheads, of your choice, not mine. Okay? So, but you get one chance. So you're not just going da-da-da-da and running up here. You're actually taking your time. You're using your notes. And both of you have to have the exact same thing, or just you by yourself, depending on how you're going to do it. But it's got to be right. You can use your slides, you can use your notebooks, you can use your notes. Okay? You may look around the room. Any questions? Yes, Lucas.
Will I get my phone back?
At the end of the day, absolutely. All right, sit down. Any other questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, go ahead, get started.
Out there.
I don't know, you tell me. Maybe that's why your math grade isn't that good.
It's only like an 80. I had the best math grade.
Work